Okay, fully operational now and fitted in and wired in. The only thing to do now is to wire the switch into the dashboard somewhere. This is just a test run. So the loom, just point my light down, comes through here for the light, goes behind the battery up here to the relays in behind the mud guard, the lip of the bonnet gutter inside the engine bay. And that's just extra wire that's loomed there. It's all tied up with some wire ties. Those two, that and that, those are the power wires to the lights. That goes back up to the relay. The original piece here goes up the relay. That's kept away from the radiator. That, when that drops down in there, that can get near the radiator, but it's been wrapped around that central piece that I was telling you about. That down here, just see if I get the light right again, that down here, my hand away from the thing moving. This green thing here, that's one end of the piggyback. That's the power wire to the high beam light. That gets in between the high beam bulb. That's the high beam socket there. I'll sort of turn it upside down. That's the high beam socket. There is a minor quantity of mismatch with where the pins sit, and in the case of the one that goes to the headlight bulb, I had to cut a notch down the centre because what was provided as the male plug there couldn't get put into that. The yellow wire for the high beam there, the solid yellow wire, you can just see it there. That's the red wire. The white wire there's the earth basically, or some other part like the DRL. And then from the same set of connectors of red and blue is this thing. That there goes back to the relay on its own separate line in behind all of this. So there's two lines running down behind the battery, back up to the mudguard. The relay's there, it's a huge thing. There's rubber underneath that relay there. There's the relay. But there's rubber underneath it that's been glued to the bottom there, so that it doesn't bounce around with vibration and hit anything too hard. That goes into the mudguard the same way that the UHF coaxial cable did, and it comes along here, in through the mudguard, and down into here. It goes into this. Right, and that's got three little notches, and I just haven't got the time to block some things around this so that I can then pull the rubber with a set of pliers back onto the thing. I haven't got around to that. That's tricky and difficult in that sort of a notch. So it comes in here, this gets taken out, the base of this gets taken out, and the wire here comes through to this switch here. It comes through to this switch. But that has to go to the other side of the cabin. So it's going to be put under there somewhere up to near where the steering wheel is. That all runs behind there with the UHF equipment. The UHF equipment is semi-permanent in there. You can see some of the wiring there. It's not very serious right now, because all this has been pulled open a couple of times again. So it came through the mudguard. It is possible to take the mudguard off to do some of this, not properly, but it doesn't matter if you take that bolt there off, and this one here, all of these three along here, these two, that one there, and that one there, which I'm using for an earth for it, and this one here is a bit subtle. Then you can actually pull the mudguard back, flexing it, to flex it and get your arm inside there if you have any problems like this wiring loom gets stuck. So this is a bit long, so it'll take a minute or two. Gone for 4 minutes. So that there is actually a 7 lead 35 watt from Ridge Rider. There are other ones out there. You could probably get away with, I think it was a 14 inch in there, but you know, the radiator must have the air, and I don't really have a problem with that idea, because you can get up to about 80 watts, 100 watts in there, but with a single line of leads. But there needs to be enough air getting in there for the radiator The only trouble is all the insects get in there to the radiator and eventually the thing overheats and blows. But never mind. We'll need to take the radiator out and clean them. So I hope I haven't dazzled anyone too much, but I'm behind the... I think right, it's best to go now.